Hello all, welcome to AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification Practice Quiz. We'll give some time for everyone to join and then we will kick start it. So let's see how many people are going to join. To join, you must be able to see on the screen, go to kahoot.it or get the Kahoot app and use the game pin 428330. I repeat, 428330. And I can see people joining. So great. We'll give time to everyone to join. Great. I can see 10 people already joined. 11. Based on the poll I did on the Telegram group, we should be having around 30 plus participants. So let's see how it goes. So those who are playing through Kahoot for the first time, make sure you join it from a device and you look at this screen on another device. The question will be flashed on the screen. You are seeing the YouTube and you'll have to answer it from your device. In case if you see any latency, which might be there due to the streaming, around 5 seconds latency, if you see it increasing, just refresh your browser and it should be back again. I've given 60 seconds for every question. That should be enough time uh, to answer the questions. Even if you see a 5-second delay, that should not be a problem. We'll probably wait for 4 minutes for everyone to join, and at dot at 1:10, if as per British Standard Time or based on whichever geography you guys are, in next 6 minutes we'll be joining starting sharp, and hopefully we'll be able to have all the participants by that time. In case if you guys have any questions, uh, you'll have to put it on the live chat, and I'll try and answer them in between the questions. Because it is a broadcast, it will not be a two-way communication. The only way for a two-way communication is the live chat. So feel free to type any question if you're facing any issue or if you have any questions. So this will be AWS Cloud Practitioner Certificate Exam Quiz. From the exam point of view, the exam guide gives us a outline of how the overall content will be structured. So the cloud concepts, which will cover defining the AWS cloud, its value proposition, the cloud economics, and different types of cloud architecture design principles. That will be 26% of the exam. The security and compliance, which will cover AWS shared responsibility model, identity and access management, cloud security. That will be covering 25%. Then the domain 3, which will be 33%, the maximum coverage, it's technology. It will be based more on the AWS global infrastructure, identify core services. And finally, this section of 4 would be billing and pricing, which will be around 16%. It will be comparing and contrast various pricing models of AWS, recognizing various account structures, and identify resources available for billing support. In this quiz, we'll be having 50 questions, and every question will be giving 60 seconds to answer. So after we start, I'm expecting it to run for around 80 to 90 minutes. 50 questions. Let me write that down. Everyone able to hear my voice loud and clear? Cool. In another 3 minutes, we'll be starting. We have 25 players. Seems like few people are disconnecting and connecting. That's okay, but we'll start probably in next 2 minutes. And those who are joining late, I'll put a comment again so that they can join in anytime. So even if you disconnect in between, you can always use the pin to connect again, and you can start uh, playing the game from where you have stopped. And in case if you experience delay, then refresh your browser and hopefully it should be fine. So I believe there'll be a delay of 5 seconds, but it should not impact the game much. Hopefully this practice quiz might give you a fair idea of the kind of questions it provides. I've just I used the exam guide to create some questions. So we have 23 players right now, and in another minute, we'll start. Cool. Let us start. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. And the question is, where can you see user-specific view on the availability and performance of AWS services underlying their AWS resources? AWS Artifact, AWS Trusted Advisor, AWS Personal Health Dashboard, or status.aws.amazon.com, which is Service Health Dashboard. So which of these options can be used to see the user-specific view on the availability and performance of AWS services underlying their AWS resources? We have roughly 10 seconds left. So yes, a maximum people were able to get the question correct, and that is AWS Personal Health Dashboard. That is where you will be able to see uh, the impact that your specific account resources have based on the service availability of the overall AWS services. The entire AWS Service Health can be seen in the Service Health dashboard, which is option number 4, status.aws.amazon.com. You can go to this link, and then there will be a link to click on the AWS Personal Health dashboard, which you can click to go to your account and see the resources that are impacted in your account. We'll move on to the next question now. Let us see the scoreboard. So we have Rajesh CS leading the score in the first question, with Puneet A and Abstract trailing just behind. Next question. Which feature of AWS pricing does not help lower the initial investment amount needed? Pay-as-you-go pricing model, no upfront cost, free tier, one-time AWS account setup cost. If anyone has joined late, please look into the comments. You'll be able to find the Kahoot and the game pin 428330, or even it is displayed at the bottom of the screen, the game pin 428330. 10 seconds left. And yes, again, maximum people were able to get the right answer. One-time AWS account setup cost. There is specifically no account setup cost. It is free, and you start with a free tier. You need to provide your credit card, but unless you use any of the resources which are beyond free tier, there will be no setup cost. And yes, pay-as-you-go pricing model definitely allows you to lower initial investment. You don't need to put a lot of capital expense upfront. So let's now move on to the next question. Uh, Rajesh is still leading, and there is a shuffle in the scoring board beneath that. So that's good. Moving on to the next question. You need a compute instance for next 24 hours. Which type of instance would you use for this purpose? Is it on demand, spot, reserved, or dedicated? So for the scoring criteria, there are two things. Obviously, you need to get the answer right, and depending upon how fast you're answering, your score will be higher. So if you're sure of the answer, feel free to answer as quickly as possible, but ensure that you do not answer it incorrectly while trying to answer it fast, because then it will be like 0 points. Yes, the answer is on demand because you need the compute instance for next 24 hours, full 24 hours. It is on demand. If you need it for a very long term, like 1 year or 3 years, then you could have reserved it. If you need it for unpredictable workload, then it will be like spot. And if you want the entire physical server for yourself, it will be dedicated. In this case, on demand is the correct answer. So moving on to the next question. Let's see if there's a yes, there is again a bit of shuffle in the scoreboard, but Rajesh C is leading. That's great. Moving to the next question. For organizations with multiple accounts, which feature allows efficient costing model? AWS budgets, AWS Cost Explorer, AWS organizations, AWS saving plans. If there are anyone who has joined late, then please go to kahoot.it or install the Kahoot app and use the game pin 428330 to join the game. The game pin is displayed in the chat window or at the bottom of the screen. That's great. Most of the people got it right. AWS organizations is the right answer. It gives a way of consolidated billing, whereas AWS budgets lets you set alarm in case the budget increases of the usage or the forecasted. Cost Explorer allows you to drill down into the cost and see how your usage works. And saving plans gives you a flexible saving plan for the compute usage. Moving on to the next question. First, let's see if there is any change that no change in the dashboard at all. Everyone stays the place they are. Cool. And Rajesh is holding strong. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following services allows you to distribute traffic across multiple EC2 instances? AWS Autoscaling, AWS Elastic Load Balancer, AWS Regions, AWS IAM. Wow, that's great. Most of maximum people got the answer correct, which is AWS Elastic Load Balancer. That's true. That is the service which gets the incoming requests and distributes the traffic to the multiple EC2 instances. It might get confusing with AWS autoscaling. I do understand that part, but AWS autoscaling monitors your application and automatically adjusts capacity to maintain steady, predictable performance at the lowest possible cost. So in case if you, based on the traffic, in case the EC2 instances needs to be added or removed, that's what autoscaling does. But distributing the traffic is done by Elastic Load Balancer. Let's move on to the next question. Puneet A and Napster back again in top 5. And the next question is, which of the following features should be used to provide EC2 instance access to S3 bucket? Is it I am roles, I am user, I am group, I am policy? So I am as a concept is very important in AWS, whether it is for the Cloud Practitioner certification exam or any associate or professional level certifications, or even for using on a day-to-day basis the AWS. This is one service that needs to be understood by everyone because it enables you to manage access to AWS services and resources securely. And that's correct. IAM roles is the right answer. So IAM role is an identity that you can create in your account that has specific permissions. It is quite similar to a user in terms of that the permission policies that they get. But instead of uniquely associated with one person, IAM role is intended to be assumed by anyone. And like in this particular scenario, EC2 instance, when we attach IIS role, it assumes that permissions and is able to access S3 bucket. So that is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. Everyone holding their own position strong. That's great. Which option of low-cost storage should be used from which data is retrieved rarely and retrieval times can be in hours? AWS Glacier, AWS Glacier Deep Archive, S3 Standard, S3 Standard, infrequently accessed. Yes, AWS Glacier Deep Archive is the right answer. As we know, S3 is simple storage service and object storage from AWS. It has multiple tiers. Because the retrieval times is in hours, it can be either AWS Glacier or AWS Glacier Deep Archive, but Deep Archive would be having the lowest cost storage. While in AWS Glacier, you can also retrieve it in minutes. There is a configuration that you can do. But as AWS Deep Archive, you can retrieve only in hours, and that's the lowest cost option. So that is the right answer for this question. Okay, so Sushil in coming in top five. So next question is, which AWS service would simplify the migration of database to AWS? Is it AWS Storage Gateway, Amazon AppStream 2.0, Amazon EC2, AWS Database Migration Service? That's great. Everyone got it right. So no explanation needed. We'll move ahead. And as everyone got it right, everyone is holding their position strong. Moving on to next question. Which AWS offering enables users to find, buy, and immediately start using software solutions in their AWS environment? AWS Marketplace, AWS Cloud Watch, AWS Market Watch, AWS Cloud Base. Anyone who has joined super late, please log on to kahoot.it and use the game pin displayed at the bottom of the screen or in the chat window 428330 to join in. There are plenty of questions still left. It'll be fun to play. Great. Again, almost everyone got it right. AWS Marketplace is the right answer. AWS CloudWatch is a monitoring and observability service, and there is no service like AWS MarketWatch or AWS CloudPlace. Moving on to the next question. Everyone still holding the position strong. Which of the following is an AWS responsibility under the AWS shared responsibility model? Is it configuring third-party applications, securing application access and data, maintaining physical hardware, managing guest operating systems? Yes, maintaining physical hardware is the right answer. It is AWS responsibility. Customers will not be having access to the physical hardware, so it is AWS responsibility to maintain that. The other option that I see that people has option is securing application access and data. So if it is securing the physical hardware or anything that is below the virtualization machine, then that is AWS. But anything above that layer, For example, application access and data, that is customer's responsibility. So AWS does provide a lot of tools. For example, IAM, and there are other host of tools even to protect your application access and data. Whether if you're using S3, then there will be ways to secure the data that is there in S3. Or if you are using networks, then there are ways to secure your network using NACLs or subnet groups, or your overall infrastructure using WAF or Shield. But that will be customer's responsibility to configure that. Moving on to the next question. So seems like Anshul has stopped Rajesh. Good going. Moving on to the next question. Which service can identify the user that made the API call when an Amazon EC2 instance is terminated? AWS Trusted Advisor, AWS CloudWatch, AWS Cloud Trail, or AWS IAM? Yes, again, most of the people got it right. It is AWS Cloud Trail. They said CloudWatch is a monitoring and observability at the application level. Cloud Trail is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, or the risk auditing of AWS account. So it can log, continuously monitor, and retain account activity related to the actions across AWS infrastructure. So if anyone is uh, instantiating an EC2 instance or terminating it, all that will be logged in a Cloud Trail. Moving on to the next question. Good, need a jumping places. Which tool below helps estimate the cost of moving your on-prem environment to AWS? Is it AWS Cost Explorer, AWS Pricing Calculator, AWS TCO Calculator, AWS Consolidated Billing? Sorry, seems like this question did not had enough time. That might have been my mess. Apologies for that. I thought I set timer for 60 seconds for every question, but seems like this question had a much less time. So AWS TCO calculator is the right answer. So moving on to the next question. In case if you're facing any delay, please refresh your browser or close your browser and open the YouTube link again. That might be a bandwidth issue, uh, probably at your end or even on the network or my end. But yeah, there would be a delay of 5 seconds, I believe. But if you're experiencing a delay more than that, then please do refresh your browser. Moving on to the next question. Which AWS service allows you to analyze EC2 instances against predefined security template to check for vulnerabilities? Is it AWS Trusted Advisor, AWS Inspector, AWS Shield, AWS Config? Prasad, Anand, and Muthu Kumar. Please refresh your browser in case if you're experiencing any lag. That's because of the streaming that is happening. Yes, most of you again got it right. AWS Inspector is the right answer. AWS Trusted Advisor is the online tool that provides you real-time guidance to help you provision resources following AWS best practices. There are five different areas on which it gives you the advice. AWS Shield is mainly to protect you against your DDoS, and AWS config does have different rules that you can pre-configure to check against. But for checking the vulnerabilities in a EC2 instance, AWS Inspector is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. I see Subir coming in top 5. That's great. Which of the following option is not one of the recommendations AWS Trusted Advisor provides? Cost optimization, security, performance, reliability. So AWS Trusted Advisor provides recommendations in 5 areas. Which one of these options is not one of them? Yes, reliability is the right answer. It is not one of the recommendations that is provided by AWS Trusted Advisor. The 5 areas are cost optimization, security, performance, fault tolerance, and service limits. Moving on to the next question. Okay, SP in top 5 and Puneet A leading now. You have a new requirement to collect metrics from your EC2 instances. Which AWS service would you best choose? CloudWatch, CloudTrail, CloudFront, Cloud Search. Lot of cloud in the options. Yes, as most of you got it right, CloudWatch is the right answer. If you want to collect metrics like the CPU usage or memory, it is the CloudWatch that's used. Moving on to the next question. Let's see the scoreboard. If there are any changes, Subir again back in top 5 and Puneet holding it strong. Which of the following Amazon EC2 pricing models allows customers to use existing software-bound licenses, so existing server-based, server-bound software licenses? Is it spot instances, reserved instances, dedicated hosts, or on-demand instances? Yes, dedicated host is the right answer because it is a server-bound software license. It has to be on a specific physical server, and dedicated host is a way that you can get a physical, easy to a machine allocated to you yourself. Spot instance, reserved instance, on-demand instances all have a shared tenancy, so it'll never be that you will be able to get your VM from one specific machine. So moving on to the scoreboard, Puneet A is on fire. Let's move on to the next question. AWS customer needs to run a MySQL database that easily scales. Which AWS service should they use? Is it Amazon Aurora, Amazon Redshift, Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon Elastic Cache? Yeah. Amazon Aurora is the right answer, which most of the people got it right. Amazon Redshift is a data warehouse solution. Amazon DynamoDB is a NoSQL solution, and Amazon Elastic Cache is a cache solution, whether it is Memcached or Redis. So moving on to the next question. Okay, Napster jumped up the place and Syskin in top 5. Which component of AWS global infrastructure has one or more discrete data centers interconnected via low latency link? Is it availability zone? Is it edge location? Is it region? Is it private networking? Yes, availability zone is the right answer. So how AWS global infrastructure is built is we have multiple data centers and they group multiple data centers into one availability zone, and then they group multiple availability zones to become one region. And edge location is mainly for the content delivery to the end users in a much faster and reliable way. Moving on to the next question. Everyone holding their position strong in this question. This is the 19th question. One of the advantages of moving infrastructure from an on-prem data center to the AWS cloud is it allows the business to eliminate IT bills. It allows the business to put a server in each customer's data center. It allows the business to focus on business activities. It allows the business to leave servers unpatched. Yes, 19 people got it right, which is it allows the business to focus on business activities. It will not eliminate the IT bills. It might reduce the IT bills, but it's not going to eliminate the IT bills. Everyone again holding strong their position in this particular question. Question number 20. What is the example of agility in the AWS cloud? Access to multiple instance types, access to managed services, using consolidated billing to produce one bill, decreased acquisition time for new compute resources. Muthu, I see that you're facing issues. If you have a way to connect to the YouTube live and through some other Wi-Fi network or your mobile data, that will probably be helpful. This is all live streaming, so it all depends upon the bandwidth. Yeah, again, most of the people got it right. 80 people, which is decreased acquisition time for new compute resources. That's the example of agility. Access to multiple instance types, that's just more options. Access to managed services is again a feature that AWS provides, in which AWS manages it on the customer's behalf. Decreased acquisition time for new compute resources is the right answer. To the next question, everyone holding the position strong again. The next question, might be, if I'm not wrong, will be a multi-select option. And how multi-select option works is that if you there'll be more than one correct answers, and I'll be telling you how many correct answers are there. If you select all the correct answers, then you'll be getting double the points. If you're selecting a specific answer which is correct and not selecting the other answer which is correct, then you'll be getting for the number of questions answers you're selecting right. But in case if you select any of the wrong option, then you will be given 0 points. So that might make a lot of difference. So choose carefully your options in a multi-select question. A customer deploying a new application to AWS should choose a reason based on which factors, and to choose two options: reduce latency to users, the application's presentation in the local language, proximity to customer office for on-site visits, data sovereignty principle. Yes, most of you seems to got it right. Reduce latency to user and data sovereignty principle is the right answer. Proximity of the customer's office to the on-site visit does not matter which region they choose to use. And any region they choose to use, they can create applications to present in the local language. So moving to the next question, but let's see if there's a change in the scoreboard. Yes, there's a bit of a shuffle, but seems like everyone in the top five are holding themselves in the top five. Which of the following AWS cloud services can be used to run customer managed relationship database? Amazon EC2, Amazon RDS, Amazon Elastic Cache, Amazon DynamoDB. I was expecting this to be a tricky question, and it turned out to be the tricky question. So you will be seeing such questions where the keywords in the question will really matter. So the keyword in this question was customer managed relational database. So Amazon RDS is a managed service. It is managed by AWS. It is for relational database service, but it is managed. Amazon EC2 is IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, which you can use as a server, and you can install your own database, which will be customer managed relational database. So please look out for these keywords in the questions before answering. You'll be having plenty of time during a cloud practitioner exam. It should not be a rush, I think, during the exam. So take your time to answer, to read the question carefully and then answer it. And I am assuming this would shuffle the list. Not much. Seems like the top five is holding very strong, which is great. Next question. Which of the following AWS service is a scalable data warehouse solution? Amazon S3, Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Kinesis. And I understand everyone would be facing different levels of latency, so that might be a concern in terms of how fast you can answer it. Yeah, but apologies for that. Look what better we can do from the next time then we do it. But yeah, I'm just simply using YouTube streaming and Kahoot for this quiz. So I'll be interested in knowing how much latency each of you guys are facing, so that accordingly we can try and improve the experience from the next time. Yeah, as most of you got it right, Amazon Redshift is the data warehouse solution. Amazon DynamoDB is a NoSQL database rather than a data warehouse, and Amazon Kinesis is a streaming solution. Moving on to the next question. Again, everyone holding very strong onto their top five scoreboard, with Puneet A at the top. Again, it's a multi-select question, so be careful while answering the questions. Which of the following are valid ways for a customer to interact with AWS services? Software as a service, software development kits, command line interface, hybrid. Again, most of you got it right. Software development kits and command line interface are the right answers. Software as a service and hybrid are just terms. They're not a ways to interact with AWS services. Moving on to the next question. SB back in top five. So he must be following closely. So that is great. Next question, which is 25th of the 50 questions, a multi-select question. Which two services of the following AWS services can be used to serve online video content with lowest possible latency? Is it AWS Storage Gateway, Amazon S3, Amazon Glacier, Amazon CloudFront? That's a typo for Amazon CloudFront. It has been Amazon, not Amazon. So my apologies for that. Yeah, again, most of you got it right. It's Amazon S3 and CloudFront, which can be combined to use the serve online video content. So if you have any a static website or a video serving website, you can always host it on S3 and distribute it through a CDN, which is Amazon CloudFront. Amazon Storage Gateway allows you to access your on-prem uh, allows you to access your data in the AWS from your on-prem seamlessly. And Amazon Glacier is an archive storage solution from AWS. So moving on to the next question. Skis can come into the second spot, and Puneet A is on fire. Next question. Which model describes web servers running on EC2, assessing a legacy application running in a corporate data center? Is it cloud native, hybrid architecture, partner network, or infrastructure as a service? Yeah, 16 of you got it right. Hybrid architecture is the one in which we have some of the workloads on AWS and some of the workloads on on-prem. Cloud native would be that your entire application or the workloads are on AWS. Partner network is just a term. There's no specific meaning in this context. Moving on to the next question. Everyone holding the position pretty strong right now. Which of the following IAM entities is associated with an access key ID and secret access key when using CLI? IAM group, IAM user, IAM role, IAM policy. I hope while you are taking this quiz, you are able to note the areas which you may want to work on more. It should show you strengths and weaknesses. So as I said, there are 4 sections: uh, cloud concepts, security, technology, and pricing. So this particular question comes in security. So if you're getting most of the security questions correct, great. But if you're getting any specific section questions wrong, then you might have to go back and work on it. But in case if you're having most of the questions correct in this particular quiz, then you are good to go for Cloud Practitioner certification exam. And yes, most of the people got it right. I am user. Moving on to the next question. Napster seems to be on fire, which is really good. But yeah, everyone is holding their position strong. When architecting cloud applications, which of the following is a key design principle? Use the largest instance possible, provision capacity for peak load, use the Scrum development process, implement elasticity. Again, most of you got it right. Implement elasticity is the key design principle. Using the largest instance possible would not be correct. We tend to do that sometimes in on-prem, but it's not required to be done here in AWS. You can always use horizontal scaling when the load is more, which is implementing the elasticity. Provisioning capacity for the peak load. Again, you need to do that when you have your workloads on the on-prem. Here you can always use auto scaling. And Scrum development process is a development process which can be used to develop applications, whether it is for on-prem or for cloud. Again, everyone holding their position strong. So good enough. We'll move on to the next question. Under shared responsibility model, which of the following is a shared control between a customer and AWS? Is it physical controls? Is it patch management? Is it zone security? Is it data center auditing? Yes, as most of the people got it right. Patch management is the right answer. Zone security, physical controls, data center auditing, all of these are related to the physical hardware data centers that are there, and it will be solely AWS responsibility to do that. Patch management is something that's a shared responsibility between both of them. Moving on to the next question, and again, SB topping Napster and coming on in the top 5. Question number 30, it's a multi-select question. Which AWS services allow companies to connect to Amazon VPC to an on-prem data center? Try to select two correct answer. Yeah, again, most of the people got it right, which is AWS VPN and Amazon Direct Connect. Those are the right answers. AWS VPN is a site-to-site VPN, which is a client software that you can install, and Direct Connect is actually a physical connection between AWS and organization data center. Hybrid solution is just is a term, no meaning in this specific context. And API gateway is mainly for managing your APIs. So moving on to the next question. Kamal coming up in the top 5 probably for the first time. So good job, Kamal. Moving on to the next question. Question number 31. To support physical isolation of customer workloads, which compute hosting model should be considered during TCO? Is it reserved instances? Is it dedicated hosts? Is it on-demand instances? Is it no upfront reserved instances? Yeah, again, most of you got it right. It is dedicated host because it's a physical isolation of customer workload. You need a specific physical server, and that is why dedicated host is the right answer. As I said before, reserved instances and on-demand instances, they have a shared tenancy, so you'll not be having a specific physical server for your own use. Moving on to the next question. Everyone again holding strong their positions. Which AWS service provides the ability to manage infrastructure as a code? Is it AWS Pipeline, AWS Code Deploy, AWS Direct Connect, AWS Cloud Formation? Yeah, AWS Cloud Formation is the right answer. It's not Code Pipeline or Code Deploy. They are a part of Quickstart, which allows you to automate your CI/CD pipeline. AWS Direct Connect is a way to connect your data center through a physical connection to AWS, one of the region. AWS Cloud Formation is a way to manage infrastructure as a code, either in a JSON format or a YAML format. Everyone holding strong in the top five, with Puneet A leading the pattern. The next question: if a customer needs to audit the change management of AWS resources, which of the following AWS services should be used? AWS Config, AWS Trusted Advisor, Amazon CloudWatch, Amazon Inspector. Yeah, AWS Config is the right answer. AWS Trusted Advisor advises you on the five pillars. It does not audit help you in audit. CloudWatch is mainly monitoring and observability, and Inspector helps you find vulnerabilities in your EC2. Next question. Anshul is on fire. Subir back in top five. So let's move ahead. Which service allows a company with multiple AWS accounts to combine its usage to obtain volume discounts? AWS Enterprise Support, AWS Budgets, AWS Organizations. Volume discounts is enabled by default. In case anyone has joined super duper late, just to check, we still have around probably more than 15 questions left, so feel free to join. It's kahoot.it. and the game pin is displayed at the bottom of the screen, which is 428330. Again, most of the people got it right. It's AWS organizations, which is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Puneet, as always, is on fire and he is leading by a great margin, which is a great job, Puneet. Which Amazon EC2 pricing model adjusts based on supply and demand of EC2 instances? Is it on-demand instances? Is it convertible reserved instances? Is it reserved instances or spot instances? For few of you, these questions probably might be very easy, but when we'll be having a quiz for Solution Architect Associate, that might be a bit challenging. And in case if you're already there, then go for professional certification and you will actually see the level is really difficult. Yeah, spot instances is the right answer because it does depend upon supply and demand of EC2 instances. The rates keep on varying every hour. For on-demand instances, you can see the rates already if you go to the pricing calculator, and so is for the reserved instances and convertible reserved instances. The price keeps on changing only for the spot instances. Moving on to the next question. Subir and Kamal back in top five. Seems like there is a bit of a tussle going on for the fourth and fifth position, but top three seems to be pretty stable. So we'll see how it goes in the last 15 questions. Which is the minimum AWS support plan that allows for 1 hour target response time for support cases? Is it enterprise? Is it business? Is it developer? Or is it basic? Business is the right answer. That's the minimum AWS support plan that allows you for 1 hour target response time. Enterprise does give you a 15-minute window, but that is mainly for very critical issues. But with business, you'll be able to get a 1 hour target response time. So 6 of you got it right. Let's see if that changes the scoreboard. Not at all. So good. People are still holding strong their positions. Let's move on to the next question. What technology enables compute capacity to adjust as load changes? Is it load balancing? Is it automatic failover? Is it auto scaling? Is it availability zones? Yes, the correct answer is auto scaling. I thought it's a throwaway question because I explained in the initial few questions that auto scaling is a way to adjust your compute capacity. But yes, load balancing and auto scaling gets a bit confusing. So load balancing is used to distribute the traffic that is coming to multiple EC2 instances. But in case, let's say, for a specific EC2 instance, that traffic gets too much to handle. Let's say the CPU is going above 90%, then you can configure auto scaling to add another EC2 instance, which is like enabling the compute capacity to adjust. So you can add the extra capacity, and in case if the traffic reduces over the time, you can set up a setting that if the CPU goes below 50%, then you can remove that EC2 instance. So in this specific scenario, auto scaling is the right answer. So auto scaling and load balancing do work hand in hand together, but to understand this difference between the two. Okay, Subir topping Anshul to take the third position, but overall everyone holding their top five positions strong. Moving on to the next question. It's a multi-select question, and you need to select three options out of four. Which AWS services are defined as global instead of regional? Amazon Route 53, Amazon CloudFront, Amazon S3, AWS IAM. So please select three out of the four correct answers. But in case if you choose a wrong answer, then it will be 0 points. Okay, so surprisingly, 12 of you said Amazon S3. Amazon S3 is a regional service and not a global service. So Amazon S3, when you create a bucket and store files, it is stored in a specific region. You create a bucket in a specific region. Whereas Route 53, CloudFront, IAM, they are global services. So when you go to AWS Management Console, on the top right, you see a drop down where you can select the region. But when you go to service Route 53, CloudFront, or IAM, you will see that it is global there. You will not be having option to select any specific region. Let's see if this changes the scoreboard. I'll be really interested in that. Not at all. Everyone holding their position way too strongly, which is great. We have 12 questions left now. 39th question is, which AWS service would you use to obtain compliance reports and certificates? Amazon Inspector, AWS Certificate Manager, AWS Compliance Store, AWS Artifact. AWS Artifact is the right answer actually. Inspector is, as I said, is a way to assess your EC2 instances for security vulnerabilities. AWS Certificate Managers allows you to get the SSL certificates, which are used in HTTPS connections. Compliance Store is no such service or place. It's just a made-up term. AWS Artifact is a store where you can actually find all the compliance reports. Moving on to the next question. No change in scoreboard at all. And this again is a multi-select question, so do select two options. The financial benefits of using AWS are reduced total cost of ownership, increased capital expenditure, reduced operational expenditure, deferred payment plans for startups. Yeah, most of you got it right. It is reduced total cost of ownership and reduce the operational expenditure. So let us move on to the next question. A bit change the scoreboard, but not much. We have 10 questions left now. This is a multi-select question. Select two options. Which of the following security measures protect access to AWS account? Enable CrowdTrail, grant least privilege access to IAM users, create only one IAM user and share with all users, activate multi-factor authentication for privileged users. Yeah, most of you got it right. I see a few of the people have said enable AWS CloudTrail. It does audit of how the access has been done for each services, but it will not be for protecting the AWS services. It will be mainly for auditing. For protecting, grant least privilege access to IAM users and activate MFA is the right answer. No change to scoreboard at all. Next question is which service provides a hybrid storage service that enables on-prem applications to seamlessly use cloud storage? It is Amazon Glacier or AWS Snowball or AWS Storage Gateway or Amazon EBS. Yeah, most of you got it right, which is AWS Storage Gateway. A snowball is used to transfer data from your on-prem uh, to AWS. It's not to able to seamlessly access the data from there. Glacier is an archive data solution, and EBS are mainly volumes that can be attached to EBS. Everyone holding the position strong, so we'll move on to the next question. Last 8 questions. Which AWS support plan includes a dedicated technical account manager? Is it developer, enterprise, business, or basic? Wow, that was great. Everyone got it right. So yes, enterprise is the right option. In which scenario should Amazon easy to spot instance be used? When a company wants to move its main website to AWS from on-premises, or a company's heavily used legacy database currently running on-premise, or a company has a number of infrequent interruptible jobs, or when a company has a number of application services whose SLA is 99.999% uptime. Yeah, most of you got it right. When you have infrequent or interruptible jobs, that means even if a job is suspended at a specific time, it can resume again. That's the kind of workloads that you will be able to use with these two spot instances. Moving on to the next question. Everyone holding their positions very strong. It's a multi-select question. What can AWS Edge location be used for? And you have to select two options. Delivering content closer to users, running NoSQL database caching services, reducing traffic on the server by caching responses, sending notification messages to end user. Muthu, is the delay better now? Or is it like similar 30 seconds delay for you? Yeah, again, most of you got it right. Edge location is mainly so that it can be closer to the users, so it can deliver the content to the users, and it does reduce traffic on the server by caching responses. So we'll move on to the next question. Which of the following can limit simple storage service bucket access to specific users? Is it a public and private key pair? Is it Amazon Inspector, AWS IAM policies, or security groups? For everyone who is getting a delay, probably I'll create an offline version of this quiz and send it across so that you guys can practice it in your own time. Yep, most of you got it right. It is the IAM policies. Public and private key pair is mainly used to access or SSH into your EC2 instance, and security group is mainly for your network level security. SP in top 5. . Which services can be used to rapidly deploy a popular IT solution and start using it immediately? Is it AWS Well Architected Framework? Is it Amazon Code Deploy? Is it AWS Code Commit? Is it AWS Quickstart reference deployments? Yes, okay. So a lot of people got it wrong, surprisingly. So Amazon Code Deploy, as I said, is one of the part of Code Star, which is a way to automate your CI/CD pipeline. So think about Amazon Code Star as a Jenkins or Azure DevOps through which you can create your DevOps pipeline, and Code Deploy is a specific thing which is used at the deploy stage. Amazon AWS Code Commit is mainly for your source control. It is based on Git, but it's a source control. Well architected framework is a way to review your existing, or is a framework which gives you best practices way to do it in 5 specific pillars. Quick start reference deployments are a place where you will find the popular solutions designed by AWS solution architects or the AWS partners and vendors, which you can directly use as a reference deployments. You can click on it, deploy it, and start using it immediately. Which surprisingly, only 3 of you got it. All right. So difference between AWS Marketplace and AWS Kickstart reference is that on AWS Marketplace you'll have to purchase it. AWS Quickstart reference is a reference best practice deployment available for free so that people can start it using it. I did not keep AWS Marketplace in these options to ensure that does not get very confusing, but seems like code deploy made it more difficult. So let us see if there is any change in the scoreboard. So it seems like Anshul is back in top 5, which is good. So we move on to the next question. Which AWS services are part of AWS serverless platform? Is it the combination of Amazon EC2, Amazon S3, Amazon Athena? Is it the combination of AWS Step Functions, Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon SNS? Is it the combination of Amazon Athena, Amazon Cognito, Amazon EC2, or Amazon Kinesis, Amazon SQS, and Amazon EMR? Yep. So 9 of you got it right. It's a combination of AWS Step Functions, Amazon DynamoDB, and Amazon SNS. So serverless allows you to build and run applications and services without thinking about servers. It eliminates infrastructure management tasks such as server cluster provisioning, patching, operating system maintenance, or capacity provisioning. All of this is done by AWS. So in any option, if you see Amazon EC2, it is not serverless. It is a VM that will be provisioned for you, and you need to run it and maintain it. The last option, it has Amazon EMR, which is Elastic MapReduce. Again, it is not a serverless. Amazon DynamoDB, there is a NoSQL database, but we do have a serverless version for that. So let us move on to the next question. Anshul is on fire, and that was the fifth position. So we have last two questions now. How does AWS charge for AWS Lambda, which is a part of serverless function? Users bid on the maximum price they are willing to pay per hour. User choose 1, 3, or 5-year upfront payment term. User pay based on the number of requests and consumed compute resources, or users pay for the required permanent storage space. Yep, so almost all of you got it right. It is based on the number of requests and the consumed compute resources. So the first option, which no one has selected, is correct because that is mainly for the spot instances. The second option is mainly for reserved, but there is no 5-year upfront payment term option in reserved. It is 1 year or 3 years. And the final option, you just pay for the required storage space. It's not permanent. They pay for the storage space, and that would be S3. No change at all in the scoreboard. And we do have the last question. What function do security groups serve? Do they act as a virtual firewall for Amazon EC2 instance? Do they act as a virtual firewall for a subnet in a VPC? Do they provide DDoS protection? Or are they used in securing AWS user accounts? Yes, most of you got it right. It is they do act as a virtual firewall for Amazon EC2 instance. So security groups, you can allow or deny traffic at an instance level. A similar thing can be done at a subnet level, but that is NACLs, which is network ACLs. That is the second option. Providing DOS protection will be the AWS Shield, and securing AWS user accounts is AWS IAM. So with this, we come to the end of the quiz. So let's see how are we faring. So Subir is the third position. Seskin in the first, and we have Puneet A at the first, and we do have Kamal and Anshul at the fourth and the fifth position. So great. We do have around 15 minutes left, so feel free to ask any questions or provide any comments on the experience in the chat. How was it? Was it helpful? Or was the experience not great? What better is that we can do to improve the overall experience? This is the first time I'm conducting it over a YouTube live. We do have sessions every week for the core patch that we do it on the Amazon Chime. It's private, but as this was a quiz overall, so we thought we'd have it on our YouTube live, open for everyone. So I'll be interested in hearing your views on this. and based on that, we'll be planning for more such sessions on YouTube Live, which will be open for all. So feel free to provide comments in the live chat. Yeah, overall the uh, purpose was similar. Have an environment in which it will be learning experience for everyone and bit of a competitive to keep everyone engaged. So yeah, thanks Kamal for that comment. So anyone who is actually planning to give AWS Cloud Practitioner examination in next 2 to 3 weeks, let us get in touch. I know from the core group there will be a lot of people who will be attending this uh, in next a couple of weeks. That's what I'm hoping for. That all the people in the core batch will be doing that. But anyone who are not part of the core batch and are other part of the wider Telegram group who is following the recordings closely and are following the learning path, then let's get in touch. Yes, I'll be sharing the offline version of this quiz. I'll create one and I'll share that. And anyone who has used the app should be able to go into the study mode and play it again. So for the 4 week learning path, as we have some time, probably I can go through the learning path again with everyone. Let me show that. So as we say, we create a 4 week learning path, and there are four domains. The first domain is cloud concepts. Second is security and compliance. Third is technology, and fourth is billing and prices. So week one, we can focus on cloud concepts and security and compliance. Please feel free to watch the week one video on the YouTube channel. We have gone through the AWS white paper, not the entire white paper of 90 pages. We just you gone through the first 8 pages, which sets us up for this specific course. And then we created a free tier AWS account, and we started a bit of a hands-on by creating a billing alert and creating IAM users. In the week two, that's the uh, I would say the most focused week that will be required for anyone, which includes going through the 6 hours free digital training that we have. You'll be able to find the link in the description of the YouTube channel that we have on the videos for the week two. It mainly focuses on the AWS core services, whether it is compute, storage, networking, database, or the integration services like the serverless or SQS or SNS. It also talks about the global infrastructure. So over in all, those 6 hours free digital training course is really important, and it also has a 30 question quiz at the end of it. So if you're able to do well there, think that your preparation is almost here. And then the week four is based on the billing and pricing. Feel free to watch the video session of that, the recording session of that on YouTube channel. We have covered mainly the AWS pricing overview white paper, and then we did a bit of a hands-on on billing, AWS budgets, AWS organizations. It's more theoretical, but yeah, it's very important. It says that it's 16% of the paper, but you might feel it is a bit more during the exam. On the questions, how many questions will there be in practitioner exam? I believe it varies mostly. Uh, Here we did 50 questions, but I believe there'll be more questions between probably 60 or 70, but I'm not really sure. That's kind of a confidential information that AWS does not reveal in their guidelines. So if you go through this AWS practitioner guideline, which you will be able to find that in your uh, uh, in their website, we will not be seeing a time or the number of questions that they have. Very frankly, this is not revealed that whether it's a negative marking or not. I'm not sure of that. Negative marking, I'm not sure about that. But I believe there is no negative marking. I was just trying to think about when I give these papers, how did it work? But yeah, I don't specifically remember that now. Police is not part of core batch, but following your posted videos, that's great. And that's good to hear, Puneet. Nice experience. Just now I started reading. I'm happy able to answer 30 plus questions correct, which is really good. And there is no negative marking as JS confirmed, which is good. I'm just reading through all the comments right now. Let me scroll down and then we can go to and next as we have some more time and let's see what are the most difficult questions that we have. Oh, there are far too difficult questions. That's uh, too many. But yes, there are few questions in which people got quite wrong. Yes, one was the global instead of the regional. As we said, Amazon S3 is regional, and rest all of them are global. Then we have rapidly deploy a proprietary solution that was Quickstart, and then it was a customer managed solution, and that is why the answer was EC2. Minimum AWS support plan that would be requiring for 1 hour target response time for AWS support cases. That was business and not enterprise. That's this is the minimum AWS support plan. So we do have a page for that, and we have covered that in detail in our one of the recording session. So feel free to go through that. Or in case if anyone has any questions, then feel free to ask it on the core batch WhatsApp group or on the Telegram group. I am happy that there are people in the Telegram group who are not part of the core batch, but they are following those logged in through the app. They should be able to see the questions and their answers. If you have given this through a Kahoot app on your mobile, you will be able to play it on yourself through in a quiz mode or in a normal practice mode. But anyways, I'll be creating an offline version of this particular quiz and I'll sending that across to everyone. If you want, you can create a login ID for your Kahoot and it will keep recording all your data. But yeah, that's not required, very frankly. Uh, that's pretty much that I have. We can go through these questions right now, which were the toughest ones, if you all say, or we can I can send it at the offline, and it can be done offline by everyone. So I'll wait for the comments to see which way we are going, because as per time limit we do have at least 8 questions. But it seems like everyone would be happy doing it offline. So thanks all, and I would be ending the stream now. Speak to you guys again soon. Cheers.